Hello, Chris Arrolt, Nautilus Architects. I'm here today to show this property to the agents at Seaport Realty. I thought it would be a good idea to take a short video, walk around, talk about some concepts, and get that out on the table. And then when we have our meeting, we can watch this and sort of critique it and talk about the goods and the bads and how we want to strengthen it and format it for use. So we'll be doing it again. We'll go inside. We can't go inside today. Nobody's home. But anyway, so this is 5 Russet Lane in Essex, and this is it was and is still sort of a extended cape of a house. We have some juicy before pictures that we'll show you, so you can see just what it was before. So the shape was recognizable and hasn't changed drastically, but a lot of improvements have been made. So starting right here, for instance, this driveway was just an asphalt driveway. Now it's got a nice Belgian block apron. It had major problems with water coming in off the road, so we put that little bump of asphalt to divert a lot of the water down to a catch basin down the road. We lined it with Belgian block. We put this is kind of, it's in a little bit of disarray right now, but this is sort of the typical modern day version of oil and stone driveway, where you get a pea stone effect, but you put down an asphalt base, then you let it sit for a month, and then you press in the pea stone. So you get this kind of nice, softer tan tone to it, and this sort of driveway just blends more with your landscape than linked to the road and just look like a sea of asphalt. It's a big sticking point of mine, especially when you've got a pretty big expanse of driveway. You just don't want it to look like a landing strip. Also, on that note, there was a asphalt driveway that came way down. Made kind of no sense. It was a dead end, but it extended a lot farther down that way, and primarily that was because the former entryway, which was in this location, nevertheless was basically like an axial entryway that just came out. So it was sort of like the formal entry that nobody really wanted to use anymore, just entered out into nothing. But so the asphalt driveway kind of came across to meet that. So we cut that asphalt back and added a lot more landscape and lawn area, and just pushed it back so we could still park 2 cars over there comfortably and not impede access to the garage. But then we devised this new kind of meandering entryway or pathway to the front entrance. And for instance, we took the windows and we made new window configuration, wrapped it around the corner here. So whether you're inside or outside, the entryway is sort of like gesturing toward you this way diagonally, which it was not doing at all before. Another really important feature of this house, and really the reason that the people bought the house, was because they have a special needs son who's wheelchair bound, and I actually worked with the agent, Janet Peckinpah, and she called me up and said, Chris, I've shown these people, they're from Scarsdale, they've looked at they come up every weekend for the last few years, you can probably relate to this, and nothing seems to work, and I need to kind of close this out. So I got involved. I didn't go to look at every property with them, but when the property looked like it had potential, then I would go out there and meet with them and talk about whether it might suit their needs, what could be done to make it suit their needs. So ultimately this house became the choice, and that was because there's a whole nother lower level on the back. The house is actually a lot bigger than it looks from this side. And so that lower level could become their son's domain, and he would have privacy. It wouldn't be like because he's in his 20s, so it wasn't like he's going to be living next to his parents. He had his own sort of private apartment kind of space down there. And so the other part of that equation is, how's he going to get down there? And so what we were able to do was take what used to be a classic breezeway between a garage and the main house and clean that as sort of a mud room and also a second entryway, and create a nice little ramp which is tucked away. You really don't even see it until you're upon it. But basically get out of his van, come around here, walk up, wheel up this little ramp here, which is screened behind this nice stone wall, and he gets to this level, and now this new mudroom area actually is a continuation of this bluestone here. So you can see we have this special trench drain here, so if there's wind-driven water that wants to flow in, because there's no threshold, no raised threshold, that'll drop into the trench drain, but we have a cover over our heads, so there's not going to be that much water generally anyway. But in other words, when he comes up to this level, opens this door, he can wheel right in with no change of elevation, and there's a, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a door over there, and that's the elevator that goes down to the lower level. So he can just come in, he can either go into the main house, have dinner with his parents, or he can just go into his elevator and descend to the lower level. So that was just a really simple but effective way to avoid any, there's no chair lifts, there's no other changes in elevation inside that we have to navigate. It's all taken care of right here before he even gets into the house. This is all red cedar siding. We basically clad the whole house. We called it cedar house. It's a red cedar roof, red cedar siding, red cedar trim. Red cedar is a lot more durable. Sometimes people put red cedar on the roof and white cedar on the walls. But we went all red cedar, and then we paired that with these nice black Marvin windows. Some of the nice details that I'll point out, we put copper gutters in everywhere, half-round copper gutters. Use nice cylindrical downspouts that are attached to the wall behind, so you don't have some unsightly strap there. At the windows, we actually rabbited out the back of this wood trim so that it wraps over the frame of the window, so you don't see another black line out here. When you're looking at it straight on, you just see kind of wood. It just makes it look more like a traditional wood inset window, even though it's aluminum clad. A lot of these ideas come from Cosmo and Chenzi, who are accompanying us today on this walk. The nice way to deal with a foundation is, rather than have grass come all the way up to the edge, you can have steel edging with pea stone. Again, it just gives a nice clean, it's kind of like a mowing strip. And also, if you don't have gutters, you can put drainage underground there and have water just drip off, permeates into the pea stone and goes into the pipe. Taken away. A lot of times design includes what you don't see, so we've tucked away, for instance, the generator over there and the rhododendrons, and we brought the power down pole to that stanchion out there, and then it runs underground into the house. There's no wires on the house, there's no meter on the house. Nice clean effect. Condensers here. A lot of times we do geothermal, which one of the main aesthetic benefits of geothermal is you don't have those anymore. But they're at the end of the house here. It's not really bothering anybody visually or audially. So now you can see the house has grown considerably because we dropped down a whole level. So I decided to use brick on the lower level. It seemed more in keeping with the town of Essex to use brick than stone. You could see it just looking nice with stone on the lower level. Certainly didn't want to run shingles all the way down. That would just become too large a scale for material, in my estimation. So a lot of the windows, all the windows are new, but some of them were just put into existing rough openings. You can see this is kind of the vestige of the older style, classic, like 60s picture window, which we just kind of left that more or less the same. And then that's door out from the son's apartment, which again is flush with this. This is a new terrace area for him, and so he can come out on his wheelchair, and it comes right into the lower level. He doesn't have to negotiate any change in elevation. We added that shed dormer. The husband has a little office up there, and he gets a nice distant view of the river. You can see the Connecticut River out there. Where plays guitar. He's got a guitar up there. Another glaring deficiency of the house was the fact that the main level is off the ground on the back side. So previously there was really no outdoor space on the back side of the house. So you really were not encouraged to really go outside because you'd have to descend to the lower level and come out. But we added this outdoor area and that enclosed screen porch. So now the upstairs flows nice and easily into these outdoor rooms, and you can get out here and enjoy the outdoors on the same level. The husband likes to remark that all he wanted to do was paint the house, and then Stephanie and I got together, and that was that. So you can see there's this new outdoor stair, sort of secondary back stair with this cable rail for sort of a little bit of a nautical nod. And everything, even though this is a secondary stair, it all has to comply with code. So we needed railings, we needed minimum openings on the guardrails to meet code on the back. This was a cool kind of thing. This is not operable now, but this is a kind of a door. I saw this at the Olympia Tea Room in Watch Hill, and it was kind of a nice double acting hinges, so it goes inside and out, sort of like a door into a kitchen or so, a restaurant kitchen, with this mesh that protects the screen on the lower part, and this triple bar that you can just kind of push it open with your hip or your hands. And again, just trying to use detailed locations to sort of enhance the experience of the house. I think that pretty much covers it around the outside of the house, and eventually when we do the video for real, we'll add the inside. But I hope you enjoyed the tour, and look forward to talking to you about it.